Yo, Kieran here with Coach's Corner Chats. Just doing a meet and greet. Just threw this out there. Super excited for the opportunity to kind of meet and greet with some coaches. Hopefully, some will hop on. If not, it's you don't know until you try. And that's what this is all about. I'm all about trying to just continue to grow the community. And as you can tell from all of the stuff that I put out on social, the podcast episodes to YouTube to whatever it might be that we're doing. I got the newsletter that I'm working on. I'm super excited right now because I've got a plethora of guests that are jumping on the podcast with me. And next week, I'll be talking with Nate Hauser. I've got the Mendonca brothers. Their throwback Thursday episode is dropping. So just a lot of really, really good things. And I'm excited about this week's one, which is Joe Quigley with Football Fun Factory. It's over in the UK, in England, and it's so freaking cool. It's all about fun. Literally, it's called Football Fun Factory for a reason. They want kids to have fun. The idea of developing and trying to get to the next level, and do I move my kid up in terms of age groups and all that, that's out the door. This is about letting kids come and have some fun. They have a bunch of inflatables that are set up. One's an actual field with where so the kids can just play. The balls are bouncing off the end, they're bouncing around off the edges and all that. They also have an inflatable dartboard so the kids get to shoot, and there's little holes, and it's like playing darts, but you're shooting with a soccer ball. And then the other thing that they have, which I think is really cool, is a huge goal. So you can put kids up in it, like almost like a bouncy house. So it's like a bouncy park on steroids, and then kids can shoot soccer balls at the goal. And so just so stinking cool of an idea, and something that I'm trying to get kind of maybe picked up and running here in the area that I'm at right now. If you're wondering, there is a link. You just click the link, and then you can join the podcast. I threw in the comments the link for them. So any links that you need to go and find out anything about Coach's Corner Chats, our website, how do I subscribe for the newsletter? How do I get to the YouTube channel? All of those little things. Where are you on Instagram? Where are you on Twitter? All those options are shared on my link tree, which is in the comments. I also have the link, the StreamYard link. You just click it, sign in with your name. You'll pop up on my screen. I call it the green room. And then I click and I'll let you in. And then it's just almost like what I always start podcast off with, like, where are you at? What are you up to? And just kind of shooting the breeze. Just kind of talk about how things are going for you, what you're doing, what you're rocking and rolling about, and what have you. I've got a lot of ideas. And so I'm just trying new things, like I said, just to kind of connect more with the coaching community that's out there. One of the things that was awesome today is I got to talk with Kevin Talbot. He is the head coach at the College of Lake County. So it's a JUCO up in Chicago. Really, really good chat with him, and loved a lot of the things that he had to share. Really, really cool about Chicagoland, as he called it. So super excited for that to come out here probably in 4 or 5 weeks, because I've got a loaded schedule of people coming up from, Bailey Guffin to Katie Smith to Danielle Lund, McNamara, talking about college tennis. And man, it was eye-opening. Such an awesome chat. Absolutely loved chatting with Danielle. We've got Randy Waldrum, Hall of Fame, not just an awesome coach, but an awesome person. Talked with Katie Smith. Just a lot of really, really good. Just had Zach Hammond from Bluffton University on. He's the women's coach there. So things are really falling into place really, really well. Love where we're headed. I wanted to talk about the newsletter a little bit while I've got some time, and fingers crossed that someone takes the chance and clicks and jumps in. And I'll be kind of checking back and forth with Twitter to see if people are having any issues getting on or anything like that. Because like I said, I knew doing this, you never know who's going to hop on. Or if they are. So just kind of a cool experience for me, just to continue to try to figure this StreamYard thing out, which I love. Absolutely love this program allows me to do some different things in the background. I can do, some these live streams and go right out to Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. But back to the newsletter. So one of the things I'm trying to do is, again, connection. So what are other ways that I can connect? So social media, I've been trying to crush. So Twitter's my main kind of focus. Instagram would be part number 2. And then I'm slowly just kind of filtering things on the YouTube, trying to figure that thing out as to how do you take a podcast and put it on YouTube where it can grow momentum. So I'm not sure if I need to do more clips and what have you and share them, or what that might be. So that's something I'm going to have to look at and view and work on. But so the newsletter was something I said, hey, what's another way that I can directly connect with coaches? And so one of the things that I did here is just a recap of, so the newsletter that's coming out is just going to be a recap of the news, what we did here in April. So in terms of, and I'm trying to, so again, I have the link tree here. So it's Linktree with a little dot in between for the E. If you just go Coach's Corner Chats, it has all the information about subscribing and all those types of things on there. And if I can get it to come up, let's see if I can do it. I've not shared a screen before, so I'm going to try, and boom. Let's see how this works. No, it's okay. Would like to record. That's okay. Whatever. So if I share my screen, let's see if you see that or not. There you go. So here's my LinkedIn or Linktree. You can see here, you can subscribe to the newsletter up here. You've got listen to the podcast. This has all of the podcasts that I had, even from the very beginning when I was just going solo and I was just getting on and talking before I made the leap over here. We do have some merch, which is nice. Every once in a while, people buy a beanie or buy a shirt or a sweatshirt. And it's just nice because a portion of all of those sales comes back to the podcast. So I really appreciate those people that have done that. The YouTube channel. And then, of course, I've got a website that I do need to update. I've had so many chats as of late, 2 or 3 a week. And so I've got a ton of content that I need to work through, and I want to, start getting that stuff back. So there's that. In terms of StreamYard, so again, if you just take this little thing here, and I'm going to try to share it again on Twitter and see if we can get anyone to hop on and join me. So let me go over and let's stop sharing for a second with that. So let me come back to my Twitter page here. Boom, boom. And let me find the link here to share out to you all. So let me just, whoops. So I'm going to share this on Twitter real quick. I'm trying to multitask as best as I possibly can. Boom, 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 boom. Looking for that first person to hop on and be like, hey, let's chat and do it up here. Let's see how it's going. A little paste action. Oh, gosh, that's a mess. That's all right. All right. So tweeting that out right now. So hopefully maybe somebody will click on and join me. So back to the newsletter. So the newsletter itself is going to have a recap of April. So I've had 4 chats. Right now, Joe Quigley is up with Football Fun Factory. Next week, I'm dropping Jimmy Walker, awesome coach up at Bowling Green State University, the women's coach there. So I'll be sharing that stuff here shortly. And then beyond that, I have the other 2 from this month are, and I'm drawing a blank. Nope, I'm not. Mike Clark, mental health and mental performance consultant at University of Arizona. And then the second one was Andre Luciano, an amazing, amazing soccer story, how he went from like small school to ending up at Indiana and being a goalkeeper there with the great Coach Yeagley. And so just amazing. And now he's at Soccer Soccer Recruiting USA with Don Williams and doing amazing things and sharing great information out there. So those are the 4 chats that are going to be just kind of recap. Like, hey, if you haven't had a chance to watch them, here they are. I'm also next week, May 29th, Saturday, I believe, 7 p.m. I'm doing the top 10 most listened to chats, and the top 10 has changed. There are some shuffling, especially at the bottom. The top, Marguerite is crushing it from UCLA, still at the top, but we're not hoping. There are some other ones that are making some moves. So, especially in that like 7 to 10 range, there have been some movements. Cody Bartlow made a huge jump when his chat came out. So I'll be doing my top 10 real quick a week from this Saturday to talk about that. That'll be in the newsletter. And then all of the chats that I recorded during April, which is a lot, and like I said earlier, from Bailey Guffin to Randy Waldrum to Danielle McNamara to Zach Hammond, just a ton of great coaches that I've chatted with. And so those will be coming out, May, June, and into the summer with those types of things. So loving all of that type of stuff. And then the part that I'm really excited about is I've reached out, and this is why I want to continue to do things like the newsletter, this live chat, is trying to continue to just, when I make connections with coaches, to try to keep building on it. So I've had, panel discussions, and those about player nutrition. So if you haven't checked those out, go to the YouTube channel, go to the podcast channel. It's all right there. The other thing is we talked about coaching and the parent dynamic. As most of you know, parents can be a headache. They can be the most difficult thing to deal with in terms of when you're coaching. And so those two came out. And from that, I've had, it's building my relationship and connections with like a Don Williams, who's really, really, knows a lot about recruiting. I had Lindsay Hazard on for the nutrition chat, super like an expert in that. And Sky Eddy talking about parenting and her parenting association, soccer parenting association that she has created. She's the founder. She runs it. So many good things with that. Candace Fabry, had her on the podcast, Fearless and Capable, doing amazing things for women in coaching, women in sports, girls in sports in general, and just kind of fighting for, continuing to improve the overall experience for females in sports. And so she's going to be a contributor to the newsletter. Greg Winkler, I've reviewed 2 of his books. I've shared it on the website. He is a huge character development type coach. He does a lot of weekly videos with United Soccer Coaches and puts them out all the time on Twitter, and I continually kind of retweet them. Greg's going to be sharing some character development type ideas that'll also be going in the newsletter. Like I said, Mike Clark, who's a mental health and mental performance consultant and coach at the University of Arizona, he's going to give us some information on what can we do, what can our players do in terms of dealing with adversity. How can we better prepare for practices, games, all those types of things. So I'm super excited about that. Trying to think who else is on there. We've got Simon McAvoy, who I'm going to have on the podcast coming up. He, I believe, if I have this right, is over in Ireland. He's going to give us a kind of an idea of what is soccer like in Ireland. What's the soccer kind of setup, the organization, the flow, the feeling in terms of Ireland, which I think is going to be really, really cool about this in terms of we know how the U.S. is set up. And we see academies, the Barca thing and all that type of stuff. But what's Ireland doing? What's its feel? What's its setup as it's moving forward and doing those types of things? So again, top 10 most listened to chats, the chats from April, who I've talked to and recorded. And I'm looking for even more contributions. I have one that I'm going to throw out there on the newsletter. When I first got the high school coaching job that I'm currently at now at Middletown High School with the boys, I put out on Twitter, I'm like, hey, what are like 5 things that I need to kind of put in place before I take over and start rocking and rolling? And one of the things and so what I did was I got a whole host of like answers from coaches. And so I went ahead and, I made a document out of it. So I shared that. So some of us are starting new coaching careers or whatever it might be. So hopefully that document, when you click on it, will have something that'll help in terms of, giving you an idea of maybe this is something you hadn't thought about. One of the big things that comes up in a lot of the chats is not so much the X's and O's, but so much more of like culture, dealing with mental health, dealing with developing relationships, like those things. I think the word is transformational coach. That's the big thing. Another one, and I think this was Mary Whistler, who says she's like a servant coach, like she's doing, or maybe Summer Queensberry, the basketball coach up also near Chicago, I believe. So just that's a lot of the things that I'm hearing. And I want to make sure that we keep kind of having opportunities to share those types of things. But I'm looking for just, one of the things that is, selfishly, yes, I love people listening to the podcast. I love people commenting on my tweets. I love people retweeting stuff. I love people viewing stuff on YouTube, subscribing, following. Yeah, it's like a little dopamine rush, and I enjoy those types of things. But for me, it's been amazing the connections that I've made that are starting to grow. I went and watched my daughter run a track meet last week, and a coach that coaches nearby and that I went with to the convention was there at the same time. So he got to watch his son. I got to watch my daughter. We got to talk about how things are going right now. Sean Bray has also been on the podcast back in the day, one of those throwback Thursdays that I'll have to get to at some point. But even cooler was when I went to Philadelphia for the convention and ran into like Mauricio Lozada or, Sarah Loudon and Becky Burley and, Sam Etherington and, oh my gosh, Kendall Baird, and just kind of running into people that I had talked to, and then to have that opportunity to kind of touch base and hang out with them was so stinking cool. So that's kind of my goal. I don't know where this podcast is going to go. It wasn't even supposed to be to the level that it is now. It was literally me kind of doing weekly kind of updates of, when I was a director of coaching, I was just kind of talking about what the things I was seeing in terms of parent behavior, or like how we did in a tournament, or here's a drill that I liked, or, why focus on building out of the back, or what can we do with throw-ins to actually not waste them and just throw them down the line, all those types of things. So that was kind of where I was at with it. And then it just it grew. And then one day my youngest son, Bryson, said to me, "Hey Dad, why don't you get some other coaches on with you?" And I was like, "Bryson, that's not a bad idea." And so then he was my first chat. So we just kind of bounced, I just asked him like, what's it like at that time when I took over the high school program? I was my first year. He was a senior on that team. And we had that discussion before I joined and became the head coach. It's like, look, if I get this, are you fine with me being coach and dad and all those types of things? And so we got to talk on the podcast at the time about, hey, what was it like being the son of the coach? And so that kind of started it. And then it just started out with me kind of throwing out like, hey, does anybody want to chat? And so slowly but surely, coaches, you guys were awesome. You all, or not guys, but you all were awesome in terms of jumping on and supporting me and, just kind of saying, hey, I'll talk. I'm cool with it. And that's kind of where we're at now. It just keeps growing. The guest list is over 40. And so I know some of you keep reaching out and you keep saying, hey, when will I get a chance to get on the podcast? I'm trying my best to get through them. Right now I only do one a week that I send out for people to listen, and I kind of like that because like Joe Quigley's is the one right now. It's fresh, it's out there, people get to see it. And so it's getting to grow, and hopefully as it keeps going along, more and more people watch it. My concern is if I start doing, I got a Tuesday one, then a Wednesday one, I don't want to oversaturate it. I don't want to take away from it. And it may be something that, in the future, that's, maybe that's how we go. Cause I've probably got 6 or 7 episodes or chats right now that are waiting to be published. And then, like I said, I've already got 40 plus people that still need to be chatted up or talked to. So, I've kind of thrown out the Throwback Thursday. So I don't know, a Tuesday, and then you do maybe one on a Friday. I don't know if that's doable or if I like that. Because once I set it to 2 or more, then I got to keep that pace up. And I'm not sure that I can do that, especially when I start coaching. That's been my biggest struggle. It has been my biggest struggle. The first 2 seasons was once like the end of June hit, I was so hyper focused on coaching. So I was putting everything into planning that and working on, fundraising and figuring out teams and kind of doing conditioning and running some sessions. And so that's why I'm kind of hoping if I can get as many episodes in as possible, I may slow down during the season and take like 2 months where I don't do any chats, but I'll have this plethora of like archives that I can just keep putting them out once a week. And then once, October hits or whatever, and we're finishing up, then I can start going, hardcore and doing 2, 3 chats a week, type of thing. But so those are some things that are going on in my head. But like I said, really trying to focus on, I talked about it, and it's here on the screen right here. We're on Twitter, or I'm on Twitter and Instagram at Coaches Let's Chat. I'm my main focus right now is Twitter, and but would love to see maybe some comments dropped in the chat for something for me to answer, or let's see what else we got there. So yeah, feel free to drop your comments in the chat if you got it. Heck, the chat is open. Who's going to be the first coach that would hop on and maybe shoot the breeze with me about what's going on or what have you? The other thing I'm going to add, I just see it here on the screen on the ticker, is right now we're roughly around 20 subscribers for the newsletter. The 50th newsletter, I'll be going and sending you a Coach's Corner coffee mug. So I'm super excited for that opportunity just to kind of share and put that thing out. If you sign up, there's a bonus chat, and it's with Cody Bartlow. It's the last 15 minutes after I shut the chat down. Cody has his story and his transparency and his willingness to kind of share things. Oh man, so freaking awesome. And then there's one of those that happens all the time where I shut the chat down, and then as we're, cleaning things up, and I'm thinking like, thanks, man, this was awesome. And he's like, no worries, blah, blah, blah. We start to keep talking. Coaches love the talk, and Cody drops some just amazing nuggets, just some dimes, just kills it. And so that is a chat. It's a video chat on YouTube, but it's not out there. It's not public. So it's a bonus content. You'll get that automatically when you subscribe to the newsletter. I also talked about Lindsay Hazard earlier, the nutritionist with Cherish Nutrition. She was kind enough to give me a nutrition recovery little checklist, things you can look at, like a reference sheet. And, I think nutrition is now got to be something that we talk more and more and more about as coaches, with parents, with the players. Just ourselves personally, we've got to do better in terms of taking care of our bodies, because we're out on the pitch for long periods of time. It's super hot. It can be rainy, windy. The weather here in Ohio has been ridiculous. So Saturday, nearly 80. And then Monday and Tuesday of this week have been freezing. And then, like, I think this weekend it's going to keep dropping. And then there was also a chance of like flurries Sunday. It doesn't make any sense. Here we are getting toward the end of April. So, kind of working through all of those types of things on there. So, just a lot of things going on with that. And, I'm just trying to work through and see how all this works out. I'm kind of popping around. I'm checking out the YouTube stream and we'll see what's on there. Mhm. All right. I got some weird feedback on that one. And then the other one is Facebook. And I don't know if I've logged in on Facebook on this uh, thing, but we'll see what it looks like on here. And it's saying something about oops, nope. And there we are. So a lot of really cool things kind of going on. Some information's out there. But again, yeah. So I've also got a Facebook page. So there's a lot of things kind of going on with that. And so yeah, I see my man Reed logged in right before the stream closed. We're not closed, my man. We're still rolling. So let me update this. So just, you know, like I said, I'm hoping Reed can hop on here. Reed Malpe, whose book just came out, The Spartan Way. I read it. I gave a review with it. Reed actually coached or was director coach here in Ohio before he moved on. And so I think he's out in California now, but just some really cool things. But again, like I said, just trying new things. You know, so this one, not as many. I knew putting this out there was kind of short notice, so I'll have to go back and rethink the whole thing right now. But there's it's just like a learning curve, and so um, I'll keep kind of maybe doing these. Maybe I can get some coaches that'll just want to let's just talk live. I think one of the things that came up and had a lot of traction was the idea of um, where's the best. Let me make this a banner. So like where's the best soccer in the US? That kind of came up. There was a lot. Someone had posted something about, I believe, Texas, possibly being kind of the mecca of where the best soccer is in the US. So I heard things like California. Trying to think of some of the other ones that were mentioned. Of course, St. Louis with Gallagher in that area. So just it would be kind of cool one day to just kind of have a roundtable of chats where people were just on and talking about what's going on. Which I think as I go forward, hey, look at that nutrition, chocolate milk. It's a good recovery drink. Just saying. So I'm trying to stay healthy. But so looks like we're at 30 minutes. No one has checked in. I'm not bitter, and that's okay. You don't know until you try, and we put it out there. And so I think I'm going to shut it down. 30 minutes of me chatting, talking to myself. I'm cool with, but super excited tomorrow. The Mendonça, Ryan and Daniel, both their episodes will come out. So super excited about that. So we'll see how things work out with that. And then I will be talking with, I keep saying it ended. I'm going to have to figure this out, man. Why would it say it's closed? It shouldn't. I'll have to figure it out. Let me see. So Jimmy tried to join and Reed tried to join. Okay, so I got to figure this out. So if we click the link right here, entering the studio. I wonder why it says it's closed. That's interesting because it works for me. So I'm going to have to work the bugs out a little bit on this because I'm clearly on Twitter right now, live. So let me see if I can get Jimmy back in. Jimmy. Because we're still rolling. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know if it's because I started and so then people can't get in, but I feel like people hopped on the chat live. They were all in there at the beginning. Here I am live trying to figure out why would people not be able to be seen. StreamYard, I need your help as to why this. All right. Well, dang. How do I scheduled meet and greet? The broadcast is already live. Can't change the start time. All right. That's cool. So I'm on Twitter. And I did get a thumbs up on Facebook. Thank you, BJ. Oh, no worries, BJ. I appreciate it. So BJ dropping a. He's at the fields, and so that's cool. The one at the fields, dude's always coaching, doing a bunch of trainings. Check his stuff out. He's got a business called Techers, and it has some awesome goals and stuff on it. In terms of bouncers, he's got just some like the poles, training poles, and some other things, and doing some really cool stuff. He does a lot of. He compares it to a lot of some of the like the quick goal stuff, and what some of your options out there. in terms of the quality, the price that he has it and stuff. So really, if you're into you like that kind of equipment and all that kind of stuff, really check them out. Jarrell Football Academy, great stuff. And he's here. He's local here in Cincinnati. So of course I'm a little biased, but just dropped him a note. Whoops. So just so yeah, just kind of boom, a little Facebook action. We got YouTube. But again, if you get a chance, I really wish this would have worked, and I'm not really sure why it wouldn't work. I'm gonna have to work with StreamYard and figure out what the. And now it's showing my background. I'm not sharing anything anymore. Let's see, present. Stop sharing. I think it's when I shared something earlier. Does that help, Jimmy? It's showing your background now. What is going on? Can you see me now? Oh my gosh. I think maybe someone can see me. Oh my goodness gracious. Well, I did have a viewer. We lost that viewer, and they were on Facebook. So right now, I don't have anybody on YouTube or okay. My background. What did I do? All right. Well, it's going to be back to the drawing board for sure. Dude, what a mess. What an absolute mess. I got one viewer right now. Can you see me? Can you hear me? Oh, help me. I don't know what I did. But I do have one viewer, which I do appreciate you watching this freaking train wreck of an experience. Oh. Thanks, Jimmy. All right, so but you can't but the issue now is people can't join. So no one has been able to join the actual chat using the link. No. Because that's how I invite people on. Like I give them their link and then they join in. Bring da-da-ding. You may also want to share. You can have up to 10 people on screen at once. So I was like, all right, this is cool. Guests can stream to their own destination. I don't need to do that. I mean, it was this right here. That's what I copied. X9NP. All right. Well, all right. So this has been a mess. So I apologize. I do appreciate the feedback. I'm gonna have to go and contact StreamYard and be like, look, I don't know what's going on in terms of joining. So we'll go back to the drawing board. All right. Hey, have an awesome week or weekend, rest of your week. I've got state testing tomorrow, 3 hours of United States history. So no offense, I'm a math teacher. So we'll do that tomorrow. And then Friday we'll rock and roll. I'm going axe throwing on Saturday. Yeah, I cannot wait. So I'm going to be flipping some axes and I'll keep working on this. We'll try to get another live so I can just figure out what I'm doing wrong. This is Kieran, Coach's Corner Chats. Thanks for your patience. Thanks for the feedback. And I will see you. This is Kieran, Coach's Corner Chats, and I'm out. Peace.